Good evening and welcome. Tonight we'll be going over the history and geography of Cochabamba in Bolivia. I just noticed my nails 1 second. These are actually heat changing nails. Look, it's fading to black when it's cold, and when it gets warm, it has a checkerboard pattern. I just noticed when I was doing that, the tips of my thumbs are fading. Isn't that cool? Anyway, these are meant to be Halloween nails, but I think I would wear these all the time. That's so neat. Anyway, Cochabamba, located here in central Bolivia, has a absolutely gorgeous geography. There are 3 very distinct zones in Cochabamba. It's kind of hard to see on this map, but it'll be very easy to see on Google Earth. This whole area over here is very much dominated by the Andes Mountains. All of the goodness of the Andes, you can think of big mountain peaks, very cold at the top. There's lots of like dry valleys within the area there. Big mountains. In the center, we get the Cochabamba Basin. Not so much a valley because it's still quite mountainous, but it is very lush because we're heading down in elevation. So it creates what's considered the breadbasket or granary of Bolivia. It's the farming heart of the country and pretty much always has been, as far back in history as I could find. There's always been people here farming. And then this area all over here is very thick Amazon style forest. You can see that there's a bunch of little towns over here. Nothing over here because it's all thick forest. There's some deforestation occurring there, which is very sad, of course, but not enough to create a bunch of communities, all of that. You can see the national parks in the areas as well. They're in green. Very distinct landscapes here in Cochabamba. It's really fun to say. Cochabamba, try it. Cochabamba. The city of Cochabamba is located right here. It's nicknamed the City of Eternal Spring, apparently because the weather is always perfect. It's always spring-like weather, which that's so nice. It sounds like a really pleasant place, and we will of course explore it more on Google Earth after we talk about the history of Cochabamba Department. Like I said, people have been living and farming in this basin area for a very long time. There were multiple different ethnicities, ethnic groups, tribal peoples, whatever you want to call them, different eras of people that lived in this area. Really too many to mention, but the Inca Empire came through this area in the late 1400s and took over the Cochabamba Basin to use as farmland for their empire, for their armies as well, making it into like a granary, essentially, to feed their empire, which the Spanish would also do when they arrived after they defeated the Inca. In 1571, the Spanish founded Villa de Oropesa, which is obviously not Cochabamba, but this area was feeding the Spanish over in Potosi, which is just down here, which is the big mining city, but also pretty much helping to feed all of the Spanish in the area here. A big granary for Spain now. The name was changed back to Cochabamba in 1786 after the people here helped suppress an indigenous uprising. They militarized and went to the uprising, put it down, and the Spanish king thanked them by giving the city its name back, which is kind, I suppose. It's a much better name than Oropesa, in my opinion. Cochabamba is a great name. Now, there are 2 historical events that Cochabamba is very famous for in Bolivia and around the world, but very important to Bolivian history. The first one occurred on May 27th, 1812. This was when the independence movement against the Spanish was really hitting off, really becoming a thing. As the Spanish were approaching Cochabamba to take it over and, secure it, the men fled, but all of the women stayed, and they stood their ground, and they refused to leave. And I believe that they were, beaten, fired upon, but not nearly as much as if it were all the men. The women just held strong. So the women of Cochabamba are notorious for being extremely brave because of that event. And now that day, May 27th in Bolivia, is Mother's Day in honor of that event. The other major historical event is very recent. It was the Water War, which occurred from 1999 to 2000, but no pun intended, had some ripple effects into the 2000s. The Water War was not a war per se. It was a very big protest movement, but the Water War is more catchier than the water protest. I don't know what they call it in Spanish or Quechua, but in English at least we call it the Water War. But it was not a war. It was a protest movement. So were they protesting water? Kind of. Bolivia was privatizing the water in Cochabamba, giving it to a company in the United States for them to run, and the water was being vastly overcharged, which is just like, in my opinion, that's just a crime. Like, water should be free. Everyone needs water to survive. You should not be charged extra for something you need to survive, right? So the people, of course, were getting more and more outraged. It culminated in around like the middle of 1999 when protests broke out and got really heavy around November, leading into the 2000. They eventually got their way. The company pulled out and the water was not privatized, but a lot of issues that existed before all this happened, the reason why they privatized it, came right back, and it was a whole to-do. It really stretched out throughout the 2000s into about 2007, 2008, but the heart of the protests was in 99, 2000. That was the water war here in Cochabamba, in a nutshell. I could have gone way more into detail. It was all very political, but that's just the gist of it. And that was essentially the history of Cochabamba Department and Cochabamba City mostly. So without further ado, why don't I go grab my tablet and we will explore Cochabamba Department on Google Earth. Let's go. Here we are in Cochabamba Department. But let's start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. Here's Bolivia. If you're looking at a political map of South America, it's pretty easy to find because it is this big landlocked country right here. It wasn't always landlocked, but it is today. Located here, bordering Peru and Chile, Argentina, Paraguay, and Brazil. And you can very clearly see that we are at the part where the Andes meets the forest. Very easy to see from this type of map. All of this mountain area here, and all of this forest area here. It's a really beautiful place, and there are so many neat slideshows to look at up here. Look at this cool mountain here. There's a cascada right here. Wow. Yeah, sorry for my tummy. There's all kinds of just absolutely stunning photos up in these mountains. As always, I highly encourage you to explore these areas on your own. Let me know if you find anything cool, because there's so much to see up in these mountains. Look at the red. That's so pretty. You can see Cochabamba down here. I just want to look at the mountains one more time, make sure I'm not missing anything. Let me put the borders back up so we don't wander into other parts of the country. Look at this ridge of mountain here. It's very, very mountainous, I think. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else that I had to show you, but there's some pretty great, look at this. Oh my gosh. There's some incredible slideshows up here. I can't show them all to you because I have a bunch more to show you that are just as neat. Oh, that must be so nice. The water looks hot. It looks like steam coming out. A little hot spring there, I think. That's pretty neat. All right, on to Cochabamba, the city, at least. Get my bearings here. Yes, okay. So the main highlight of Cochabamba is up on this big mountain. Can you see? There's a big mountain poking out in the middle of the town, and it just kind of goes around it here. And it is, gosh, it's not in 3D, but it is a massive statue of Jesus Christ. It's a big one. Oh boy, is it big. Looming like a big, Titan up on the hillside. Take little carts up there. Look at that. It's just looming over the town. Not as big as the one in Rio, from what I understand, but awfully close. Awfully close. All decked out for Christmas there. Look at this. That's a great photo. The sunset. It's gorgeous. And the landscape around it. Big old cactus in the forefront. And there's lots of pretty statues and such all around. Looks like they're reenacting the resurrection there. Yeah, looks like there's a bunch of statues about Jesus' crucifixion and such. Neat little area up there. And definitely the most famous spot in the city. I mean, you can't miss it. There's a gorgeous botanical garden. You know, I can't resist a botanical garden. They're all just so pretty. I'm just a sucker for these lily pads. If you have a botanical garden with lotuses and lily pads, you got me. I'm in. It's fantastic. I love a good botanical garden. There are some neat museums I found. There's also some very beautiful parks around. Let me just get my bearings. I need to be like this, I think. I noticed, if I can find it, down here, that I was looking at the road names, because this is the 25th of May road, and this is the Heroínas. I was looking for, surely around here is a monument to the women of Cochabamba, but I couldn't find it. It said there was one here, but is this the one? Yeah, that doesn't, that must be it, but that doesn't look like a memorial to the women of, that looks like a war memorial, you know. I found some Simon Bolivar statues, of course. We're in Bolivia. Hello. Ooh, University Archaeological Museum. I didn't see this before. We got more dinosaurs. Look at this. Oh wait, no, that's not what I wanted to see. That's kind of creepy. Look. It looks like a little fuggler. Have you seen those dolls? My niece is obsessed with fugglers. It looks just like them. That's so funny. Look at the little pots. That's cute. Anyway. But yeah, I assume that's it. But, I don't know. I feel like there's a better one somewhere, but I couldn't find it. Let me know if I'm completely missing the mark and if it's somewhere else. But, gosh, why isn't the museum I actually want to show you popping up? Looks like it's a convent museum, which is very nice. But not what I wanted to show you. How about this? Let's see, which one did I want to show you? I don't remember what it's called. Let's just go down the list. Oh, these are all great. There's lots of like gorgeous old homes that have some neat stuff inside. I love these kinds of staircases. And it's wooden too. That's beautiful. How do they make the railing twist up like that? I don't know. That's really neat. But not what I wanted to show you. That's the archaeological museum we already saw. Cathedral plaza. I think it's this one. I don't think so. Nope. Man, I couldn't find the one in Mexico I wanted to show you, and now I can't find the one in Cochabamba I wanted to show you, but that other archaeological museum is pretty great, so. Oh, is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? No, but there's more cool spiral staircases. I'm all for that. It's an art gallery by the looks of it. Oh well. Maybe you can find it on your own. We need to go to the forest. Look at that. Look at that tree line. So distinct. I think there was some stuff up here that I thought was really neat. Well, there's a park here. Indigenous Territory Park and Biosphere Reserve. Very pretty. Bet the boat tours are pretty great because you can't really go hiking in these kinds of forests. You will get lost. You will never be seen again in this kind of forest. Oh, you know what I was admiring? It was along the border and I got like sucked into it. Let me get the borders back up. Goodness. Cochabamba Department. I need to see this river. And now let me take the borders off because it's so pretty. Look, windy, 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 like a big old Amazon. And then when you look a little closer, you see all the little oxbow lakes all around it. Some of them don't look like they're lakes anymore, but look at all the little lakes around it. It is so pretty. The windy, windy rivers that are so windy in this wetland that it's changed course so many times. Look at these. I love it. It's so pretty. How beautiful. And look at all these windy windies. I'm obsessed. I think it's so pretty. It's almost like modern art. It's like Mother Nature's modern art. Is it just me? Am I strange? I think that's absolutely beautiful aspect of the world. You are being very annoying, Google Earth. Cochabamba Department. I think that was the bit in the forest I really wanted to show you. You can look at the Carrasco National Park. You can see the deforestation around here. But not so much here. Like I've seen worse deforestation in other parts of South America. But yeah, I think I'm going to end it here actually. There are lots of neat little things to see around here, but I'm going to encourage you to find them on your own. I think I found all the things that I wanted to show you. At least I think so. But thank you so much for watching. Oh, look, identify the bats. Or maybe it's bad facts. Because it says nocturnal. I love bats, they're so cute. But yes, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. We're going to hop up to Panama next, where we're going to see some very similar landscapes. But this area of Panama has some amazing petroglyphs, aka ancient rock art, that is just beautiful. It kind of looks like the winding rivers in a sense. You're gonna have to subscribe so you can see, so you won't miss out. Also, don't forget to give this video a little thumbs up, give it a like, Let me know all your thoughts down below, and please hype this video if you can. I'd appreciate that very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good